Your world is just a mirror of what you believe yourself to be. To change your world, you must change your concept of yourself. All change happens in self. What you seek is inside of you. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to create your self-concept. I'm going to be sharing a process that actually works and gives you all the tools and applications that will help you stay committed to your new self-concept. Stay tuned. Welcome back, my name is Ivan, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through the entire process of creating your self-concept. Now, this is video number 2 of the 3-part series of self-concept. So if you haven't watched the first video, pause this video right now and click up here to watch the first video, where I thoroughly explain what self-concept is and why it's so important to establish your self-concept. So, without further ado, let's get started. Your self-concept is who you are conscious of being as a person, a character you are choosing to play, but always remaining as the awareness that you are. Now, this is key so that you don't get lost in the game. Here's a quote by Neville Goddard that beautifully illustrates this. "I am a feeling of permanent awareness. The very center of consciousness is the feeling of I am. I may forget who I am, where I am, what I am, but I cannot forget that I am. The awareness of being remains, regardless of the degree of forgetfulness of who, where, and what I am." Through the power of your mind, you are constructing a self-concept that holds all the ideals, all the qualities, all the desires that your true self wishes to embody and experience in your physical life. Therefore, you must define your ideal concept and have the clarity of what is it that you desire to have or to experience. So the first step is to define your ideal concept and his desires. So let's say, for example, you have the desire to be a wealthy person and have your own business. You have a self-concept of being a wealthy person. So you look at the inner qualities that make a wealthy person. What is his mindset, his attitude, his feeling? What does being wealthy represent to you? How does it feel to have your own business? What we want is the intangibles, the essence of our ideal concept. Many of us put too much importance on the appearance of things, but what we really want and seek is the essence of those things, the meaning they represent to us. As Albert Einstein said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but to get that reality. This is what self-concept is. It is a state of being, a vibrational match to the things that you want or concept you want to be. The task is to take on these inner qualities and really embody them, literally become the thing itself by being them. You see, looking outwardly, what you see as a wealthy person with all the material possession, the meaning actually comes first. What you want to embody and experience internally. So the first step is always to define your ideal concept and your desires. And your desires always match your self-concept. Let's go back to another quote from Neville Goddard. It states, "The ideal you seek and hope to attain will not manifest itself, will not be realized by you until you have imagined that you are already that ideal." This is step number 2. You must assume that you are already that person. Remember, we're constructing a concept of ourselves that we choose to believe in. The world is just a mirror of your beliefs. So you need to shift your consciousness from being objectively focused to being subjectively focused. We are turning our attention away from the external facts and we're putting it on our faith, on ourselves. You only change by changing, and you must desire to change in the only now. So if we know the inner qualities, the attitudes, the feelings, the state of being of our ideal concept, we lack nothing to assume that we are that person right now. To assume means without proof. And that is what the law of assumption is all about. Neville Goddard often talks about the world being an assumptive world. Listen to this quote. It states, "Since what we believe to be the real physical world is actually only an assumptive world, it is not surprising that these experiments prove that what appears to be solid reality is actually the result of expectations or assumptions. It is your beliefs and assumptions that make your experience of the world real, not the physicality of it. Without meaning, the physical world has no effect. So you must assume that you are that person already, because you are the same consciousness that possesses those inner qualities that are only being projected as symbols to represent what is already within you. What you seek is a state of being, a frequency that activates the feeling of your ideal concept. Needing proof is a lack of belief in yourself, which is not contingent upon anything. When you place conditions on it, you limit its possibilities, its realization. One of the main reasons that people fail of constructing their self-concept is their inability to simply just assume. Most people rely on external evidence and reassurances, but they're not attuned to the nature of reality. Our experience is totally subjective. It's experienced through our beliefs, our assumptions, and our self-concept. Why do you believe in what you believe? Because you believe it. Why are you being who you are being? Because you're being it. The power to choose is the unseen reality. Your consciousness is the real reality. Nothing is separate from you. In fact, you've never experienced anything outside of it. But when we're unaware of this truth, we create a self-concept that is influenced by appearances, reassurances in the objective world to prove its validity. The whole point of creating your self-concept is to know who you are and feeling it, not being told who you are to feel it. And so feeling is a big component of constructing your self-concept and being in the wish fulfilled. Here's a quote by Neville Goddard talking about the importance of feeling. It states, "The ability to feel the unseen, the ability to actualize and make a real, definitive, subjective state through the senses of feeling is the secret of creation, the secret by which the word or unseen desired is made visible, is made flesh." John 1:14. How would it feel to have achieved your ideal concept and your desire? Feeling is what we're after, because our feelings is what makes it true. It puts you in a state of being where you vibrate at the frequency of your wish fulfilled. In actuality, you don't want the thing. You want the feeling associated with the thing. Without the feeling, there is no desire, no meaning. The physical world is just the expression of what we feel inside to be true. You connect with your ideal concept and desire by feeling it already to feel what you would feel if you had it right now. Let's elaborate more on this with another quote from Neville Goddard. "To cultivate the faculty of seeing the invisible, we should oftenly deliberately disentangle our mind from the evidence of the senses and focus our attention on an invisible state, mentally feeling it and sensing it until it has all the distinctiveness of reality." This is probably the most important thing about creating your self-concept. You need to detach from your mind. Override the five senses that specifically have their attention focus on the objective world. You're only seeing your old paradigm, your old beliefs, your old state of being. You need to learn to master your attention by using it subjectively, inwardly, instead of outwardly, objectively, controlled by your five senses. The worst thing you can do is take cue from your perception, from your logical mind. The truth is not found in your mind. The hardest part is not creating your self-concept. It's to persistently be in the assumption of your wish fulfilled, even when the world shows you and tells you that you are not. When you're waiting to get some sort of visual proof in your circumstances, that's the signal to get back into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. The feeling puts you in a vibratory state where the perspective of not having your desire goes to now having it. So now your point of view of the world and yourself changes. Instead of thinking of your desire from over there to over here, now you're thinking from it. You're deliberately controlling how you think, feel, and act. Now the world is taking cue from you. More from Neville Goddard. He states, "The day I realized this great truth, that everything in my world is a manifestation of the mental activity that goes on within me, and that the conditions and circumstances of my life only reflect the state of consciousness which I infuse, is the most momentous in my life." Thinking from your ideal concept is step number 4. How you think reflects your reality. And I do have a video about this if you want to click up here and watch it. When I think I'm a wealthy person and I think that the money is already in my bank account, I instantly have a sense of knowing, of confidence, of trust. I abide in that state of being. Therefore, I think, feel, and act according to what I believe to be true. You must realize that what you think is a choice. So when you think about your desire, it is seen and felt as a problem. But when you think from it, It is seen and felt as the solution. The solution is always your vibrational state of being. Everything is about your attitude towards what you believe, what you want. Neville Goddard expands on this idea. He states, you know a thing mentally by looking at it from the outside, by comparing it with other things, by analyzing and defining it, by thinking of it. Whereas you can know a thing spiritually only by becoming it, only by thinking from it. Neville is talking about shifts in our consciousness, using our subjective focus to literally embody the thing we want to manifest. And we do that by assuming, feeling, and thinking to already be it. In reality, you're not becoming anything. You're realizing to everything be within your consciousness. It's a feeling of achieving your desire, an experiencing of what you would experience if it was already fulfilled. Now, I know what you may be saying. Okay, I get it. It's the feeling. But how do I do it? How do I feel the wish fulfilled? How do I feel what I can't presently see? This is where we're going to use the creative power of our imagination. When you assume, feel, and think from your ideal concept, you naturally conjure up mental images in your mind. That is because imagination creates reality. Here's another quote by Neville Goddard. It states, "The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in imagination what you desire to experience in reality. By maintaining this experience in imagination, your desire will become in actuality." Just for a second, imagine how it would happen to be your ideal concept. Shift your consciousness to that reality right now. Construct a scene that would imply the fulfillment of your desire. The implication is key. It gives the how to the logical mind. For example, if I desire to be a wealthy person with his own business, I would create a scene where I'm in my home office, seeing my lofty income revenue, conducting client calls, and writing checks to my employee. I would dwell within my imagination, focus on my feelings, the inner sensation, the knowing that I am that person. Back to Neville Goddard with another quote. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled until your assumption has all the sensory vividness of reality. The only thing that sets you apart from the fulfillment of your desire is to view imagination as imagination and not as reality. Let's look at this in a practical way. If you were to imagine going to your kitchen and pouring yourself a glass of milk right now, and then go perform the activity right afterwards, you would notice that there is no actual difference in the experience. The deciding factor is your belief in your imagination, feeling what you would feel if you were actually experiencing it with all your five senses. Imagination is a muscle that you must master if you want to create your self-concept. Once you start to experience all the vividness and realness to your imagination, you will witness firsthand that your imagination creates your reality. So we create our self-concept by defining our ideal concept and desires, assuming we are already that person, feeling it to be true in our state of being, thinking from it, not about it, and imagining scenarios that would imply that our wish is fulfilled. No action is required to create your self-concept. All that is needed is to stay in the assumption that you are the consciousness that already has it. Here's a final quote from Neville Goddard to conclude this video. You're already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. To seek on the outside for that which you do not feel you are is to seek in vain. For we never find that which we want, we find only that which we are. Well, that is it for this video. I will see you on the final video of the 3-part series of self-concept. And that video will be all about how do I know if my self-concept is changing. So if you have any questions, make sure you put them on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you